Hello and welcome to this video about multiplying 2 digits by 2 digits using the grid method. Right, let's go through the success criteria. The first success criteria is I can partition both numbers. Okay? You might want to do this in your head, you might want to write this out. The next step is I can draw out a 2 by 2 grid. Then it's I can write the symbol and partitioned numbers into the grid. Then this is probably the trickiest step, and it's I can multiply all the numbers together and use smile method if needed. You'll probably definitely need to use smile method. That's a nice quick easy rule for multiplying tens or hundreds. And then finally I can add the numbers together. Right, let's start off with a quick example. So we'll do 24 times by 35. So these are our 2-digit numbers. So the first thing we need to do is partition them. Now you might want to do these in your head if you're confident doing that, or you might just want to write it out. So to partition them it would be 20 and then 4 and then 30 and 5. Okay? Then the next step is to draw your grid. Now you want to give it plenty of space, okay? It's an easy mistake to make to do it too small and you're jamming your numbers together and then you don't have space to do it. So make a nice big grid. And there's my 2 by 2 grid. That's my second success criteria done. Then let's do our third one. Let's write it in. I do that, then I can do the 30, the 5 here, and then I can do the 20 and the 4 here. Doesn't matter which way they go round. And now I'm at this tricky bit, okay? So we're going to start off by doing the 20 multiplied by the 30, and that's going to go into that box. So I know, so this is smile method. I'm going to do 2 times 3 equals 6, and then there's 2 zeros there and there, and I'm going to simply add those on. The answer is 600. I'm then going to do the 20 times the 5, and that's going to go into this box here. So again, I'm going to use this smile method. I'm doing it in my head to make it a little bit quicker, but I'm going to do 2 times 5, which equals 10. And then there's 1 0 to add on, so I'm going to add that on. And then I'm going to do the 30 times the 4. Again, I'm using the smile method. I use it a lot. And I'm going to do 3 times 4 in my head, which I know equals 12. And then there's 1 0 to add on, which I can add on. So that's 120. Okay, and then finally I've got the 4 times the 5. No smile method here, just nice and easy. And I know that equals 20. And I've done that really tricky stage. Now the next stage is to add them all together. Okay, so I'm going to do 600 plus the 100, which equals 700. And then I'm going to do the 120 plus the 20, which equals 140. So I've got 140, I'm running out of space here, hopefully you'll have more space. So I've got 140 plus 700, and then I can add those together. So my answer should be 840. 840. I've run out of space here. That's a mistake I've made. I can learn from that mistake, okay guys? Let's now look at another example. Okay, so we're looking at another example. This time I'm going to use a little bit less space, hopefully make it a little bit clearer. This time I'm going to do 62 times 37. Okay, so first thing to do is do my partitioning. So if you're confident, do it in your head, or if not, you can write it down. So I know it'd be 60 and 2, 30 and 7. Okay, so that's my partitioning. I know I'll write those numbers in. Now I'm going to move on to the second success criteria, which is to draw my grid. I'm trying to use less space this time to make my workings a little bit more systematic. There's my grid drawn. Now I'm going to draw them in. Then I can put in my partition numbers. I'm going to put the 60 and then the 2 there, then the 30 and the 7 here. And now I've done that. Now I'm moving on to this tricky bit. So again, I'm going to do the 30 and the 60 times each other, but I'm going to think of it just as 3 times 6. I know that 3 times 6 is 18, but then there are two zeros. So I'm going to add those on. Next, let's do this bit, the 30 times the 20. I'm going to again do the smile method, which is 3 times 2, which equals 6. And then there's just 1 0 to add on, so that's 60. And then I'm going to do the 60 times the 7. So again, I'm just going to think about it as 6 times 7, which is 42. And then there's 1 0 to add on, so that's 420. And 2 times 7, no smile method there, nice and easy. Now, again, I'm at this adding stage. So I'm going to do 180 plus 60. I like to break it down into 2 little chunks. It makes it a little bit easier for me. Some people like to do it all in one. That's that section done. Just make that a bit clearer. And then 60. Oops. And then I've made a little mistake there. It's not a big deal. Rub it out. Then I'm going to do 420 times 14. Sorry, add 14, which would be 434. Okay, then I can add everything together. Now this is a bit tricky. Again, I seem to be running out of space. Well, this is not easy. It's going to be... So my answer should be 294. 294. I hope this gives you an example of how grid method works. Try not to make the same mistakes as me. Give yourself a little bit more space. Have a good go, guys. Remember to stop the video, rewind it at bits you find tricky,